You killed my husband!
Maggie is possessed by a demon, and everyone must join forces to perform an exorcism that will make you wet your pants. Lisa will travel to a world where her family is perfect, but they are terrifying and have buttons instead of eyes, and a Homer whose greatest pleasure lies in devouring his own flesh. This is Treehouse of Horror 28. The episode starts with the opening sequence, The Sweets Hereafter, a parody of Sausage Party. The Simpson family and other characters are candy. Barterfinger is scared he will be taken away.
Don't worry, Barterfinger. You're always the last.
Luckily, according to his mother, it is always the last one taken, even after the boxes of stale raisins. Lisa is also safe, because if there is candy, who would take the apple? But she says they might fear there's a razor blade in her, referencing a macabre urban legend. When they are about to take Homer, he sends Grandpa as a sacrifice.
Cigarette breath!
The next day, only the main characters remain. They are taken to a high shelf along with a chocolate bunny who warns them they will be forgotten forever, just like him. He wishes the earth would swallow him, and instead, Homer takes a bite out of him since chocolate feels nothing anyway.
No, God, no!
His daughter cannot continue listening to this horror.
Dad!
So Homer solves this problem.
Okay, I'm on it.
Ah! Thank you.
Subsequently, the whole family devours him, thus presenting the episode and moving on to the first segment. The parody of The Exorcist begins in a pre-Christian temple in northern Iraq. An archaeologist discovers an unusual figure with the name Matt Groening, the creator of the show, carved into it, but prefers to label it as Pazuzu, the wind demon. He then ships it with Amazon to Homer Simpson. It is Maggie's first Pazuzu. Wow, what a cute gift. Marge questions why her husband ordered that, and it's because of course he's a good father.
Thought it was pizza.
Yeah, I'll send it back tomorrow.
Oh well, they will return it the next day. Tonight, they are very busy hosting a party. Two guests arrive very early. Homer looks at the statue, and he is momentarily possessed by the demon who uses him to give it to the baby who is left alone. And Homer begins to sing her a macabre lullaby about demons in her imagination. The red moon in Pazuzu's eyes says this being will live in her nightmares until death comes, and wishes her sweet dreams, because he is a good father.
Sweet dreams, Maggie.
Everyone is having a good time at the party until Maggie speaks her first words.
No one leaves alive.
First words.
Oh, so cute. Lenny tries to record her, and Helen is the first to identify her as a demon. But that's not the worst part of the party. The soda is generic, a total failure, so better sending her to sleep, a relief for the blue-haired woman. But panic for the rest, who will not be able to leave the house. Even the computer shuts down. But not all is lost. They still have alcohol, which in no time Homer's tries to drink, and instead pours into Lenny's soup that no one wanted. Dr. Hibbert approaches Maggie only to be burnt by Maggie, who claims he is having an affair with his nurse. He puts a thermometer in his mouth to shut her up, and it reads 179 degrees, making him another victim. Although if she didn't do it, his wife would for being an adulterer. They need to perform an exorcism, but bad news. Reverend Lovejoy was never taught how to do it. Apparently, he is only trained to collect tithes. But anyways, Flanders is the right man for the job, but he gets bombarded with phone hits and has a toy car shoved in his mouth.
The police are here.
So the couple calls a professional. While waiting, they see Maggie has learned what a circle is, and whoever she stops at has to change her diaper change full of lava. Fortunately, the exorcist arrives, seemingly coming from hunting a leprechaun. To measure her powers, he opens a book.
And here truly is.
The chicken goes.
Now there is only one solution, and it starts by cutting her looser.
Are you sure?
If you can't trust a Catholic priest with a child, who can you trust?
Then they proceed to free her. She starts floating. Bart and Lisa enter the room. The priest is ordering it to leave by the power of Christ. It takes 3 tries, but finally, Pazuzu introduces itself as the wind demon from the southwest. Lisa finds it curious. He is not as strong as the ones from the south or west. Pathetic. Pazuzu claims to be significant and tells them Google it. On the 3rd exorcism attempt, Maggie returns to normal. However, they must be cautious. Pazuzu remains in the room and has possessed Bart, but the demon pleads to be let out, never having seen a darker soul, and the demon has to follow Bart's orders, like putting horns on him. The next segment is Coralline, a parody of Coralline. It starts with a macabre intro song about Lisa's unhappiness.
Lisa, Lisa, go under the night.
She invites everyone to pick up trash at the park with her, which sounds so boring. She even invites Maggie, who still has a touch of Pazuzu. Lisa is saying that sometimes she thinks she was born in the wrong family while Snowball is scratching a secret door. It is surprising they have that, and not a smoke alarm. Lisa tries to get Snowball but fails, and ventures into the secret passage where the cat tells her sometimes small doors lead to great opportunities. The cat speaking surprises her, a symbol of intelligence for centuries, though its weakness is lights. Upon learning she has another family, Lisa quickly heads there. Her appearance is not the only thing that changes in this world, has a perfect family. Not everyone there has button eyes, some have button mouths. Returning to the perfect family thing, they do love Jazz, they are good at playing, but not better than her. And Lisa wishes to stay forever, and she can. All she has to do is sew buttons over her eyes, but with that shaking hand, she runs away. Back home, Homer informs her he killed a snake with her sax, and is not big deal. She should blow his head out.
Buttons, please.
A few days later, Homer seems to kinda realise they had another daughter named Lisa, who disappeared a few days. Wow, he is such a good father. The police offers no help. Wiggum doesn't agree at all, claiming to have built Maggie's high chair.
Damn it!
So Homer decides Maggie will have Lisa's room, and Bart will do her homework.
Cowabunga!
Bart found the place following the cat, discovering just there he can talk, and now has to exchange words with the brat. Homer remains very calm about the situation, so Marge must go to look for her kids. Time passes, and the cat tells that he screwed up, lost his family. He can also talk on this side, but avoids it because it makes the dog feel inferior. With a push, he helps him cross to the other side. He wonders what's so great about this world. To star this Homer doesn't fart. They plugged him with buttons. Wow, that's an awesome solution. If he wants, they can put him some, while they chat and watch TV, what his father loves, an excuse to be lazy. For such a lack of respect, he attacks Bart, but he ends up ripping off his neck. Homer from that world tries to avenge him, but can't, since I guess you can't see anything with buttons on your eyes. So he trips and falls on some scissors, unleashing the wrath of the other Marge.
You killed my husband?
Homer has everything just the way he wants, including a Homer that goes to school meetings. When he arrives with bad news because of Bart's family drawing, they'll have visits from a social worker and an exterminator. But the ugly Marge is ready.
I'll be ready.
The little girl learned that no matter how bad things are, they can get much worse, but at least someone sewed Nelson's mouth shut. Lisa presents the third segment and warns us that it's something so disgusting that the audience will have to watch Game of Thrones to calm down. This is a parody of the book by Stephen King survivor type. It starts with Homer saying goodbye to his family. They go to Ohio, yes, Ohio, with Patty and Selma, while he stays working all alone. If it's that bad, they could stay, but nah, he quickly sends them off. Now he doesn't have a second to lose and starts singing about how happy he is, how much he enjoys eating very well and brushing with mayonnaise, which is honestly quite disgusting. The problem comes when supplies run out, there are only vegetables and miraculously a frozen sausage. Poor thing was forgotten and cold, so he warms it up. The dog wants some of that. The problem is it's still frozen. The knife slips and he slices his finger, and in the distraction, he lost the sausage. Instead, something very, very similar remains. He's tempted to eat it, but it would be a sin, and it's not well cooked. But sometimes a man must do the unimaginable.
Oh.
Marge writes to him to know if he's okay, and he couldn't be better. It makes sense to have such good taste since he eats more and exercises less than a succulent pig. But Homer convinces himself is fine, since he has many more fingers. While he's savouring, Ned invites him to eat, so the dog doesn't steal the food again. He locks it with a padlock. What's strange is he doesn't stop complaining about the steak's taste, telling Flanders he's become a Megan.
Do you have any spaghetti with my balls? Meatballs?
Megan, my balls?
Imagining himself in the turkey's place, he has more delicious meat in his finger than him on his entire table. Immediately starts slicing parts of his body. He can get something from anywhere. Just that tooth. I don't know how he plans to eat it. If it tasted good, would have left it in his mouth. Homer finishes off with a liposuction and slicing more fingers. Suddenly the family arrives. Upon receiving them, his wife notices he's lost weight, and that's because he's been making some cuts.
What's wrong with your leg?
Nothing. It was perfect.
At night, Marge realizes Homer isn't in bed, so she looks in the place he frequents the most, the kitchen where he should be eating at midnight. She gets a big surprise.
The worst moment of our entire marriage.
What about
This is worse.
Opa?
They go to an addiction counselor. Homer complains that his wife is very negative and makes him feel like nothing, and well, he's almost nothing. In response, Dr. Kenneth asks Homer to consider his wife's feelings. Maybe she takes his new diet as a comment on her cooking.
Now, excuse me. I need to go get famous talking about you.
Marge decides to leave him. His self-destructive behavior has gone too far. Maybe that's why he ate himself, because he hates himself. Suddenly, Mario Batali arrives and he wants to talk, or maybe do something else. The rest of the Simpson family moves to some condos. There they receive a letter from Homer in which he says he loves them a lot and has found a way to earn their forgiveness. He asks them to come home. Batali gives them a message from Homer.
I've failed as a man, but I have succeeded as an ingredient.
His wife can at least be proud he succeeded in something, but for Carl and Lenny, it's much more than something it's the best in the food industry since free refills. We see Homer's success parodying various successful restaurants. He really transformed the food industry, leaving the question of how did they get so much meat from Homer.
They mixed in some Barney, comic book guy, and horse.
Horse?
From above, Homer asks Jesus if he knows what it feels like for everyone to eat your body while he continues eating his wings. A very good Treehouse of horror, like the time Homer clones himself with a magic hammock. Zombie cowboys come back from the dead, and Dr. Hibbert can turn people into animals. If you want to see what happens, click on this video next. But before, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe.